Hello folks, we are here at Fort Hamby Corps of Engineers campground on Kear Lake, one of the Scott Kear Lakes, and in Wilkesboro, North Carolina. It's about 40 miles from my house, and it's just an excuse to test out the Wolf Pup. We've got it on hooked up for water and hot water and bathroom and electricity and everything. This is a really nice campground. For 3 days it's $30, I think, so $10 a day for old people with a pass, with the America Pass. But you can be on your site until 3 o'clock of the day you're leaving, as opposed to some of the campgrounds I've been at where they want you gone at 10 and you can't occupy until 1 or something. In this campground, I'll take you on a real quick car tour, but this campground is on a mountain, and the road goes up and down like this. And I was kind of worried the first time I'm driving this camper with brakes that they'd work on these steep slopes, because these are really steep roads, and it's one of the problems getting into this site is we're going down a steep road, and I had to go down past the site and then back up, jackknifing the trailer into the site. And so I jackknifed a little too much and pushed the picnic table across the back of the site, which I was lucky it didn't go off the edge, because we're on a cliff here. So let me show you the site here. Come on. Ugh. So this is the site and the picnic table I was sitting at talking to you, and the edge is right there, and it's a pretty steep edge. Akela has trouble getting up it even in 4-paw drive, but we pushed the picnic table against this post and realized that we couldn't go any further, so we didn't push it. But it's a nice level spot. We did buy a bale leveler off Facebook Marketplace, and here's my closest neighbors. They're not here for some reason, but we did a little bump on the spare tire. It's a little cockeyed now pushing the picnic table, but beautiful electric and water, and we're hooked up. We've even got the hot water tank running. This particular, I filled up the water tank because I forgot my water hoses and my water regulator, so I had to just fill the tank, and we're using the pump, which I want to know if the pump works anyways. Got the lead acid battery on the tongue, and I think I'm going to leave that there. We got the Wolf Pup only comes with one, and I put a double stand on them, and the second propane tank actually comes from the A-liner, which has two, so I just have to switch them back and forth when I decide which one to use. I also have the A-liner stove. You saw that a minute ago. I really like to cook outside. This doesn't have an outside stove yet. I'm thinking of putting a thing up on here like the A-liner has, a little ridge to hang the stove out, and that stove would be fine. But there are other stoves that are Blackstone grills and griddles and things like that I think would be better. But we've got the brand new tires, the brand new springs, and the Wolf Pup's looking good. I just have to stock it up with the stuff that you have in a trailer that makes it so it's easy to do. But anyways, that's kind of the impetus of this trip, just to kind of shake out the Wolf Pup. I've never slept in it, so I got to see if I like the bed and like using the bathrooms and all that stuff. I'm not going to use the shower, I don't think, because I don't want to get the curtain wet and the inside wet, and it has a crummy little vent in the shower, so I want to change that to a fantastic fan that's a remote. We met a subscriber up the road a bit, up on top of the hill, who has their sable German Shepherd, and Akela and their dog said hi to each other. And stay tuned. I don't think there'll be any food videos on here, but who knows? You never can tell. We'll see in a minute. I'm gonna turn this off and get some dinner. It seems that people are interested in what I eat. Caesar salad with chicken and bacon at Walmart, and it was only $3. So these are pretty neat. I really like these. I don't get them very often, but you know, you've got your salad dressing in a little thing. You got croutons in a package. What was that? And you got lettuce, and this is Caesar, so this is romaine lettuce. Good stuff. And you can just put all this stuff in there. Anyways, that's what I'm eating for dinner. And the hard part is I'm stirring them up so they come out, so it's not all in one spot. All right, that's dinner. Let's see, we're gonna go for a hike after dinner. We'll see you then. We are walking this little trail along the edge of the lake. If I remember, we've done this before, and it goes to little tiny waterfalls up a stream. Here's the stream. We're leaving the edge of the lake, but we passed by a couple of trees that were roped in caution, do not enter tape. Now they'd been ripped down and destroyed more or less, but it didn't look like they'd been removed, just like people had ripped it down. So here we're coming to this bridge, and that looks like it's got all this caution tape on it too. I think maybe this trail hasn't been well maintained. Yeah, to say Bushwhacker Falls will be closed until further notice due to bridge damage. I guess that's this bridge. Do we care if the bridge is damaged? I don't see that it's really that damaged. Oh well. Sometimes I'm naughty. It's kind of after sunset, but we like to get out in the woods after sunset. It's when you see all the animals and stuff. I don't know if they really take care of these trails, but it seems that this trail hasn't been taken care of in a couple of years. Oh, here's another big bridge. Oh, this one does look kind of damaged. That bridge does look like it's gonna fall in. Yeah, it's got some rotten parts, and I think it's as far as we're gonna go. And I can see that people have taken down the signs and stuff, but this one looks a little more suspicious, and I don't want to be the one to fall in on it. Come on. But this is a beautiful forest, and this time of night, you know, you're liable to see all sorts of owls and wildlife out, and foxes and things like that. So I'm glad we kind of went. I don't think the other bridge was so bad, but obviously they've got to get some work crews out here to fix them. Now we could just bushwhack up over all the fallen wood and get back to the campground, because it's right over there. You can hear all the kids. This looks like an easy climb and into the taller trees without a big issue. I think we'll go this way. He's got to go first, of course. All right, we're gonna huff and puff, so we'll see you in a little while. We are walking up the road, and it's a really thick plot of baby pine trees in amongst all these hardwoods. I don't know who the seed tree was that made all these little tiny pine trees, but they're all about the same age, probably from a burn 10 or 15 years ago. But we're being snorted at by the deer. So there's quite a few deer here, of course, like every wild park. And this is on the side of this Fort Hamby, I think, is right next to a state forest land. Especially Akela, he's not used to being huffed at by a deer. There must be fawns somewhere in there. The mothers huff and then run away, which is what they do if we were to walk up in there, which would be a real pain in the neck to try to push through all that little tiny pine trees. But we'd probably find a fawn. See, there's a log over there. I've done this before, and that's where the fawns are usually up against a log or something. I don't want to disturb them. but it's nice to be able to hear the wildlife. We'll give you a little aerial view of the campground from our site. This is a little pit toilet right up the hill from our site. This is the road we come down into our site, and this is my neighbor who left was right next to me. I think they were here for the racetrack. This is our site. It's kind of nice, especially when there's nobody next to you. We're pretty buried in there. And then the road goes down to a kind of a launch site for a canoe, a kayak, but it's nice. And then this is a site right opposite to mine, and it's really buried in the woods. So it's a kind of a nice site. So let's go up and we'll show you around the rest of the area and the beautiful lake. It's a huge lake. And we'll just let you watch this and listen to a little music perhaps. Way down at the end of the lake, at the dam, there's a church that plays music on the church bells that ring all the way up the lake. It's pretty cool. We did not hear that this week, but who knows why. So let's watch this. All right, treasures at the early morning shower house. There's a absolutely beautiful Luna moth, and I'm not sure what he is, but he looks pretty impressive too. A great big star spider. We are at Fort Hamby on the W. Keir Scott Dam and Reservoir. It's a Army Corps of Engineers. Some of the best campsites. The bathrooms aren't as wonderful as sometimes they could be, but this is the group camp area. We just came out of the shower house and figured we'd walk the brat so you could pee on everything. Well, folks, I think we're at the end of the camping trip. We're having dinner before we go, because this particular campground allows you to stay until 3 or so o'clock, and I don't think they really care. If somebody isn't waiting for your site, they don't really care. And it's middle of the week, so it's really pretty empty here. It was really nice. It's a nice campground. We just had some chicken and some sweet potatoes, and if my son's watching, don't look at this part. I give the skin to Akela. I take one good sized sweet potato and microwave it. I'll put a link up here to the actual campground review. There's not much changed since the campground review was done. The change in the camper here is quite a shock. I'm missing my A-liner so bad. The A-liner is so well set up, and has all these things in it. This is the towel from my shower this morning, and I have no place to hang it. There's nothing in here you can hang anything on. So it's actually hung on paper towel holder that installed, and it's a cheap, crummy, ugly paper towel holder, plastic piece of junk that I've already replaced it with a new one over here. As you can see there, that's just glued to the hood over the stove. We're not using the stove inside, we're using the stove outside, using the A-liner stove, which unfortunately I only have a table that's about this tall, so it's about this far off the ground. About, I think it's 12 inches maybe at the most, maybe 10. I can bend over it to cook. But the nice thing is that it does have a very deep sink. We're using the deep sink to wash dishes. So I've got it on electric, and that's pretty slow to heat it up, but it heats it up to 140 degrees. So you've got 6 gallons of 140 degree water. You just mix that with cold water, and you've got 20 gallons of cold water or warm water. So it's really nice for that. Of course, it's got the bathroom back here. The black tank hasn't been used for anything. I flush the toilet every 10 or 15 minutes just to get water in it and everything out, because I gotta figure out how to hook it up and flush it and empty it. So I'm going to empty it of the clear water that's in it. That'll be the very last part of the video. If you want to look for a Three Stooges routine, I'll be doing that for the last 3 minutes or something of the video. So if you want to skip that, I will say goodbye to you now. Thank you for watching, and the final emptying of the tanks will be the last minute or two of the show here. So if you want to wait for that, you can wait for that, but that's the shitty part of the video in my opinion. But it is a new trailer. I don't know how many people get A-liners and move up. I know that when you go to rallies, they have a whole section they call SOBs, people who have changed up to some other brand. That's what SOB stands for, some other brand. And a lot of people have motorhomes and trailers and things like that. Usually they're pretty nice. Because they've been in A-liners, they modify them to death, and they're pretty cool what they do. And I'm going to have a whole video on these some other brands at the rally, the national rally in June. So that'll probably come out sometime in July if I'm lucky to have connections. So thanks for watching. Appreciate you coming along. I hope you had a little fun with the hike and some of the other things we did. I got to give him his sweet potato. Hang on for just a second and if I was smart, I'd put a rubber suit over all of me. I think this is long enough. Probably should have parked away farther away. That's on there. I had to buy one of these. It didn't come with one. All right, there goes number 2. Oh, it's moving. It's alive. That came out of there with a lot of force. Let it drain a minute. Now the gray water tank. We really need a new hose. This hose is pretty shot. It came with the trailer. And I know all you real trailer people say you Never used somebody else's hose, but it's the first time. I can't afford to buy everything for this trailer and pay for my trip too. Donations are accepted. Money, cash donations. There. Cover back on. Just go back in the bumper. Get in there. Guess that's why you wear gloves. We're done. Not a big deal. Why do people make such a fuss over that? Alright folks, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the road. Bye bye.